Greetings from Bulgaria. I'm Vulkk. It's been a while since I've used the face cam, and this is going to be my analysis and personal thoughts of the EA Play 2019 gameplay footage that we saw from Jedi Fallen Order. I'm not going to take up most of your time with things that you should already know if you don't know what the game is about, when it's going to be released. Link under the video will show you another video and an in-depth article overview from earlier this year when we got to see the first details and a cinematic preview. Now, let's dive into the gameplay and see what we have here. This is an Xbox gameplay footage, which means that hopefully the graphics on PC will be way better because we've seen with Battlefront and Battlefront 2 what this engine can do. Alpha game footage, perfectly normal. We're starting a mission some 3 hours into the game. The main character, Cal Kestis, is something in between a Padawan and a Jedi, so he's still learning, but he's acquired quite a lot of powers already. And we are on a mission to save Wookiees on their home planet Kashyyyk. Force pull used to push this, whatever it is. And of course, walking on walls, because why not? As you're about to see from the footage, this is a very linear game. You know this character, because you should. Saul Guerrera, Forrest Whitaker himself, is present with his voice. And unfortunately, yet another game where designers and developers fail to draw Wookiees professionally, well, beautifully. The Wookiees are ugly in this trailer, in this gameplay footage. This is BD1 standing for Buddy Droid 1. This is Cal's personal companion to serve with the story. Jedi Fallen Order is going to be a single-player story narrative game. It's not an RPG, although you'll see skill points earned, so you'll be able to develop your character in a certain way, but you're most likely not going to have any choices here because this is a canon story with a canon character that will be used later on for other purposes. Because of that, you don't have the freedom to shape his personality, and you have to just witness his journey. This is a Jedi game also. They stated during the EA Play interview. This is a Jedi game, which means you're probably gonna stay the good guy. Using the lightsaber as a flashlight is just awesome. And of course we see a force push. Pull, push, and then there is a force flip, which is a double jump ability. There are a few other force-related special abilities. There are also abilities that use your force meter. You will see that blue bar at the bottom middle. The force meter is quite large. In the bottom left currently you can see the HP, the whatever kind of green this is, and the 04 is the healing potions. Extremely narrow and straightforward game. You have probably one, maybe a couple of ways to approach from point A to point B. This is where we witnessed the first combat. Of course, the way we saw the Imperial Refinery, I don't think if I pronounced that word wrongly, please excuse me. The way that camera behaves is really beautiful. Once again, in yet another Star Wars game, the stormtroopers are just a filler. Very beautiful animations, although a little bit stiff, but it's an alpha gameplay footage. We still have a good 4.5 to 5 months until release. Time slow, yet another force ability, very popular apparently, because it's going to be used several times in the next few minutes. From this gameplay footage, we get the impression that everything around you, the environment, is really flexible and really interactable. I don't know if that's going to be the case, or maybe this is just for the demo purposes. Can this scout trooper be any slower? I don't know if that's a bug, because I didn't see Cal using force slow or anything like that, so I will assume he's just incredibly slow. That was a nice taunt, come at me, and then he came for him. skill point acquired. At the top right, you can see skill point meter. Later on, it will fill up to skill point 2. We didn't get to see the skill points and how exactly you're using them. This is a new kind of a trooper. It's called a Purge Trooper. They're specifically created for this game. A new kind of trooper introduced into the Star Wars canon. He's resisting your force ability, and when he turns red with the sharp red line around the border of the body of the character, that means that he's probably going to do an unstoppable attack which you're supposed to avoid rather than just block or interact with. These are definitely a lot stronger characters, although I don't know what difficulty they're playing at. During the interview at EA Play, they stated several times that this is a very good and experienced player demonstrating good gameplay, but the main character does seem to be able to take an enormous amount of hits. We see Saul Guerrero up, showing himself a second time, giving more orders and objectives for our character. This is how you heal yourself. They stated that during the healing process you're incredibly vulnerable, so you have to be wise and careful when you choose to heal yourself. Probably not a good idea to heal yourself during combat. Maybe it's going to be even impossible. This is one of my favorite moments. The droid jumps up and you follow the droid while Cal actually goes beneath that beam. I'm not entirely sure, but these are probably called flame bees. That's what I heard. So yeah, they do explode. Don't stay near them like that silly trooper in the bottom left when they are about to explode. We get to see flame troopers for the first time in the game. The flame animation is cool. The flame damage over time effect is ridiculously low and weak. And also short-ranged. You see? That's like 4 meters between the main character and the flame trooper, and he couldn't actually touch him. Yet another proof that the environment seems to be highly interactable, or maybe because this is a very straightforward narrative game, you just have to do what the developers and designers want you to do in order to progress to the next area. But the animations are really cool. On my first viewing of this clip, I actually thought that the animations are stiff and bulky and chunky, but on my second, third, 15th, whatever, it started feeling better and better. They will definitely be even better than this for the finished game. We just revealed the so-called shortcut, which is actually the only way to progress further. That's a very, very obvious force slow to be able to progress through this. And right here, we see two, let's call them factions, battling each other. Apparently, we can simply wait out the fight and just join when, let's say, the troopers are dead, because these spider-like creatures will definitely beat them. But if you join early, like the player does here, you earn more experience points, obviously. You notice that this creature is actually hurt a little bit from fighting the trooper. The fight here and all the other fights before and after in this gameplay footage feel very natural. They don't feel too scripted, they don't feel too boring. The player definitely has some freedom. You see that the saber throw here does a lot less damage to the creature compared to what it does to a stormtrooper. I really loved the effect of Cal trying to free himself from the web by spamming the B button in this case. And these jumps, they feel a little bit out of place and a little bit unnatural to me. Here we go. Scroll back a couple seconds. In the top right corner, you should be able to see the bar from experience being filled up from one skill point to earning the second skill point. This area definitely feels like something will attack you, right? Let's go find out with yet another special ability. Sense Echo is a new ability revealed for the first time here. The main character is able to hear and possibly in some cases maybe even see some things that the body that touched or experienced before it died. scripted scene. No matter how many times I tried to watch this particular moment, I couldn't find if this exact moment here, after he frees himself, is this scripted. What exactly is he doing? He's not using, at least we don't see him using a special force ability because the blue bar at the bottom middle remains filled. By the way, on top of the blue bar, there is another one which is thinner. You can swim, nice. The thinner white bar is probably related to running because I haven't been able to see it moving or getting spent. So I'm not entirely sure what it is. Once again, a demonstration of how narrow the game is, and these mini puzzles are quite obvious, but still fun to do. If the game reminds you of The Force Unleashed, I believe it's intentional. The Force Unleashed is today this type of game that is #1 from this genre, at least to me. Yes, it's not canon, and you can just play and replay it. This is silly. So Cow is jumping from one grid to another grid, creating hard and notable sound. Yet the troopers above hear absolutely nothing. This is just a little bit, how should I describe? Oh, breaking the immersion. And here is one of my favorite moments. We kill the left trooper with blast bolt, and this is the best part. Slowing time with the blaster, closing near you, and then pulling the trooper and bringing him to the blast ball. Awesome. That's really, really creative, and I love to see that you can do it. Another time slow. You will notice that in this case, apparently the main character does not spend force ability because this is scripted and demanded of him. Maybe that's why, maybe it's because it's alpha. How conveniently we've got a broken pipe here, just where we need it. This is the most massive and interesting fight because you're about to fight, I believe, 4 troopers, scout troopers, and this purge trooper guy. Or Spush, really nice to see that it's possible. Oh, okay, we actually have 2, and the one that we pushed, 3 scout troopers and 2 normal stormtroopers. The player does seem to take his sweet time avoiding and defending rather than just going all forward. And I forgot to make a remark. I believe the first purge trooper that we fought earlier, well, we saw him fighting, he said "fuck you" at some point. That's really interesting. It's rare to see something like that in a Disney game. Once again, when you see the character against you flashing in red, it's probably a notification for you to dodge rather than attempt to block. Time for another heal, perhaps. Steam boost, Bacta, whatever.
Need to slice this.
I've approached the prison, and here on the left and right you will hear and see Wookiees. Once again, damn, the Wookiees look ugly. The Wookiees look kind of decent in Battlefront 2, so I'm definitely hoping that the issue here is because this is console featured gameplay. And here is another ridiculous moment. As he stands before the console and attempts to free them, a droid, a special kind of K2 droid, attacks him. What kind of a Jedi or even a Jedi learner is not able to sense this? Even here, damn it. The companion droid should be able to hear and react, warn him. And a quick flash of what's to come. Really cool sound effects, of course. The music is definitely good action. And we saw an ATST. That was my quick overview and analysis of Jedi Fallen Order. The game arrives at middle of November. I believe the official date was 17th, but because I wasn't exactly prepared to tell you the details that I want to forward you to learn from the link below, I'm not going to insist that the date was 17th of November, but it's around that time. Once again, it's a solo gameplay, strictly narrative game. It's not an RPG, although it will have some element of progression and upgrades eventually, but you're not going to shape up your character. You are going to witness your character being shaped up. Kind of like The Force Unleashed, if you will. If that game is The Force Unleashed in 2019, but strictly canon because it has been confirmed, this game and the character are going to remain canon in the Star Wars universe, and they will be used later for other projects and other sources. That's really fun and interesting to hear. So, how are you feeling towards the Jedi Fallen Order? Are you guys interested in that game? Have you pre-ordered it already for whatever reason? I know that I'm going to play it, and I know that it's not good to pre-order games, but I did pre-order it because I do have the money right now and I want to play the game, so don't judge me. If you want to play the game and you're sure that you will be playing the game, I don't see a bad thing of pre-ordering. The guys behind this are, at least they make an attempt to seem very honest and very humble. They know they're working on the toughest and most challenging universe for the Star Wars fans, and they want to do it justice. So I'm really rooting for them, and I'm hoping that this game is going to stand up and defend the solo and single player genre. Thank you guys, and don't forget to check out all the other content on Vulkk.com related to Jedi Fallen Order and of course the other games that I'm currently covering, playing and enjoying.